Do you comp your cards? It's one of the most common questions in this hobby, and the answers are really all over the place. Some sellers comp everything. Some say they don't comp at all. Some of them even use tools that comp for them and then don't even realize that they're doing it. And then there's this question that's been stuck in my head. If everyone prices at the last sale, how does the market ever move up? So today, I want to talk about comps, what they actually are and what they're not, and what we're really doing when we say we comp a card. This is my so-called card life, where we talk about the hobby, the business, and everything in between. Welcome to my so-called card life, an inside look at the life of a low-end card reseller, brought to you by JC3 Cards Collectibles, a premier reseller of trading cards available today on eBay, Collects, and whatnot. Whether you're looking to fill out that new set or just rekindle memories with one of your favorite players from your favorite teams, let JC3 Cards Collectibles help you find that card you're looking for and provide fast, secure delivery straight to your door. Let's start with something simple. A comp is just historical transaction data. That's it. It's not a rule. It's not a commandment. It's not a ceiling. And it's not even necessarily the market. It's a record of what one buyer and one seller agreed on at a single moment in time. And somehow, that single data point gets treated almost like law. The phrase, "that's the comp," carries this tone of finality, like the conversation is over. But it really shouldn't be, because a comp is information, not instruction. And the way you use information depends entirely on your strategy. Here's where it gets really interesting. People say wildly different things about comping. Some sellers comp everything, every card, every time, and the last sold becomes the buy it now price. That's certainly one approach. Other sellers use comps as a baseline. They check the last sale, then build margin on top of it. That's a different approach. Then you have sellers who say, "I don't comp anything." But they use tools like Card Dealer Pro or eBay's auto suggest pricing. Well, if the system is referencing sold data to suggest a price, you're comping, even if you don't choose to call it that. And then there are sellers who truly don't look at sales at all. They price based on experience, scarcity, gut feeling, or a long-term strategy. The point to all this isn't which one is right. The point is, everyone is using comps in some way. The real question here is whether you're doing it intentionally or automatically. Here's the subtle danger. Comps anchor you. The first number you see becomes the mental reference point. If the last sale was $12, your brain starts negotiating around that $12. $12 feels fair. $15 feels high. $20? That feels crazy. Even if the card is scarce, even if demand is rising, and even if supply just dried up. Anchoring is very powerful, and most sellers don't realize how much it actually influences them. The comp doesn't just inform the price, it limits the imagination. And that's where a recent comment by the Dollar Box on our Wednesday night YouTube Live really hits hard. When he said, "How do comps ever rise if nobody prices above comps?" Markets don't move because everyone follows yesterday's sale. They move because someone prices differently and someone else agrees. Now, let's be fair. Comps absolutely do matter. They matter for high volume commons, for fast flips, for efficient markets, and when capital rotation is the goal, or when you're competing with 200 identical listings. In those scenarios, pricing wildly above market is just plain stubbornness. If liquidity is your strategy, comps are essential. They tell you where the friction is. They tell you what buyers are used to paying. And ignoring that data doesn't make you bold. It makes you disconnected. But comps matter much less in other situations. They matter less on scarce cards or newly hyped players, on low pop parallels, on razor thin markets, or on items with emotional buyers. If there are only 3 available, the last sale isn't the ceiling. It's a reference point. Because scarcity changes the equation. Patience changes the equation. Your time horizon changes the equation. And that's where pricing at comp and pricing with awareness of comp diverge. There are really 3 different modes here. Mode 1 is pricing at market. You look at the last sale and you match it. Mode 2 is pricing with awareness. Here you look at the last sale, consider supply, demand, timing, and then make a decision on a calculated buy it now price. Mode 3 is pricing ahead of market. You believe the comp is behind reality. None of those are automatically wrong. The mistake would be drifting into one without realizing it. If your strategy is liquidity, pricing at market makes sense. But if your strategy is margin and patience, awareness pricing makes sense. And if your strategy is speculation, pricing ahead of the market also makes sense. So the problem isn't comping, the problem is comping without strategy. So the question here isn't, should I comp? It's really, what role are comps playing in my decisions? Are they a speed tool or maybe a comfort blanket? A confidence check or perhaps a limiter? Are you using comps to inform your strategy? Or are you letting comps actually become your strategy? Because those two things are very different. Here's where I land on this. Comps are just data, and data doesn't tell you what to do. It tells you simply what happened. Your strategy determines what to do next. And if you're intentional, comps are powerful. But if you're reactive, comps can quietly cap your growth. So maybe the next time someone asks you, do you comp? The better answer isn't yes or no. It's, I use comps, but they don't use me. I want to thank everyone for joining me again this week. If this episode gave you something to think about, hit that like button if you would and follow the show so you don't miss the next one. And don't forget, join us every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Central for the Dollar Box Live. 2 hours of news, nonsense, and knowledge with myself and Adam from the Dollar Box. It's always a good time with our interactive chat. So until next time, comp with context, price with purpose, and keep building your so called card life.